If you've ever tried to build a business, I'm sure you've heard the same old story. You have to grind. You gotta hustle harder, pivot faster, just follow the playbook. But what if that's all a lie? Today, we are digging into a pretty radical idea that the most powerful asset you have for your business is something you were actually born with. I want you to listen to this and see if it sounds familiar. It's that quiet, agonizing question that so many brilliant, really capable people ask themselves when they just feel stuck. You know you have the skills, you have the drive, the experience, but when you look ahead, the path is just a complete fog. And you know that feeling? It brings us to this fascinating modern paradox. Feeling this stuck, it's not some personal failure. Nope, it's actually a shared experience, a pattern that we can map out and really start to understand. So this paradox tends to show up in a few classic ways. See if any of these feel like you. Maybe you're the pivot loop founder, jumping from one idea to the next, just praying one will finally click. Or, hey, maybe you're the grinding coach, an absolute expert in your field, but you're just trapped, selling your time until you completely burn out. Or maybe you're the caged professional. You've got the skills, you've got the savings to make a leap, but you are paralyzed by that one question, what would I even do? But no matter which one you are, the common thread is this core wound. It's that constant, nagging internal conflict of knowing you are capable of so much more, but your reality just doesn't line up with it. And that gap right there between your potential and your results, that is where the real pain lives. And this table just brilliantly lays out how deep this rabbit hole goes. See, it starts with the external stuff, the pressure, right? Your savings are melting, maybe your partner's patience is wearing thin. Then, that creates these internal consequences where you feel like you're wearing a mask, like you just don't fit in anywhere. But the ultimate stake, the real danger, it's losing the ability to trust yourself. And that last line, wow, it's just devastating because that's the point where the dream doesn't just get put on a shelf, it actually dies. So if any of this is hitting home, I want you to take a breath because here's where we make a huge turn. The problem isn't you. It's never been you. The problem is the game you've been told to play. I mean, think about it. This is the core myth of our entire work culture. We are literally conditioned to believe that value only comes from struggle, from force, from grinding. But this source material presents a revolutionary alternative. What if your greatest work, the stuff you're meant to do, flows from you with grace and with ease? So let's just sit with that for a second. All that energy you've poured into market validation, into endless pivots, into just pushing harder and harder, what if all of that was aimed at the wrong target? What if the entire foundation of that approach is just fundamentally flawed? And this leads us to what the source material calls a Copernican inversion. Just like Copernicus completely flipped our understanding of the universe, showing us the Earth wasn't the center, well, this idea does the same thing for how we think about building a business. It's a total reframe. Okay, so here it is, laid out plain and simple. On one side, you have the master lie, whispered by every hustle culture guru out there, that you, right now, as you are not enough. You need another course, another playbook, another pivot. And on the other side, the master belief, which flips that completely. It says everything you need is already inside you. Your unique wiring is the business. So once you adopt this new belief, it becomes this whole new operating system for how you work. Instead of desperately trying to force yourself to fit the market, we start with the pretty radical idea that you are the fit. Okay, so we've all heard of product market fit, right? We chase it endlessly. But this introduces something called founder market fit. And it argues that the most successful, most resonant businesses aren't found out there somewhere, they're uncovered from within. They are a direct extension of the founder's own identity. So the crucial point here is that the search isn't external, it's internal. Let this one sink in. Seriously, this is the mic drop moment of the whole idea. It's not about finding some perfect idea out there in the world. It's about realizing that you, in all your irreducible, one-of-a-kind uniqueness, are the killer app. And you know what's so cool? This isn't some new fringe idea. Different communities have been circling this exact same truth for years. They just use their own language to describe it. Founders will tell you self-knowledge is your biggest bottleneck. Creators know their unique voice is their strategy. Coaches understand their gift is the business. It's like they're all singing the same song, just in a different key. All right, so this all sounds great in theory, right? Super powerful, but what does it actually look like in practice? How do you get out of that loop and start to build from this place of uniqueness? Well, thankfully, the path is surprisingly simple. It really just boils down to these 3 steps. First, you map what is uniquely yours. Not what you think you should be doing, but what you can't help but do. Second, you match that gift to the people who are out there actively looking for it right now. And third, you move. You take immediate, concrete action to get that first piece of validation, that first dollar of revenue. But here's the thing. That first step, mapping your gift, it's almost impossible to do on your own. And the source material uses this perfect metaphor. You can't read the label from inside the jar. You are just too close to it. The point isn't to go out and learn something new. It's to have what's already there reflected back to you with perfect clarity. And what's the end game here, the real goal of all this? It's one word: integration. Just imagine a business where you don't have to slice off parts of yourself to fit into some box. A place where all your eclectic skills, your weird obsessions, your full range, the very things that made you feel like you didn't fit, become your greatest competitive advantage. So I want to leave you with this one last thought to chew on. After all the years of searching and grinding and pivoting, after all the effort you have put into finding your thing, what if you've had it backwards this whole time? What if all along, the business that is uniquely yours has just been waiting for you to stop looking and finally start seeing?